Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
To show, make visible or apparent. National leaders will have to display the highest skills of statesmanship. Something shown to the public. An electronic device that represents information in visual form. Something intended to communicate a particular impression. Made a display of strength. A visual representation of something. Attract attention by displaying some body part or posing, of animals. Behavior that makes your feelings public. A display of emotion. Exhibiting openly in public view. A display of courage. To show, make visible or apparent. The Metropolitan Museum is exhibiting Goya's works this month. Something shown to the public. The museum had many exhibits of Oriental art. Give an exhibition of to an interested audience. Walk ostentatiously. An object or statement produced before a court of law and referred to while giving evidence. Show an attribute, property, knowledge, or skill. He exhibits a great talent. To show, make visible or apparent. Reveal to view as by removing a cover. Put in a dangerous, disadvantageous, or difficult position. Make known to the public information that was previously known only to a few people or that was meant to be kept a secret. Remove all or part of one's clothes to show one's body. The man exposed himself in the subway. The exposure of an impostor or a fraud. He published an exposé of the graft and corruption in city government. Expose while ridiculing, especially of pretentious or false claims and ideas. Abandon by leaving out in the open air. The infant was exposed by the teenage mother. Expose or make accessible to some action or influence. Expose the blanket to sunshine. Expose to light, a photographic film. Something shown to the public. The display of a motion picture. An electronic device that represents information in visual form. Provide evidence for. The blood test showed that he was the father. Pretending that something is the case in order to make a good impression. That ceremony is just for show. Take someone to their seats, as in theaters or auditoriums. The usher showed us to our seats. Indicate a certain reading of gauges and instruments. The thermometer showed 13 degrees below zero. Indicate a place, direction, person, or thing, either spatially or figuratively. I showed the customer the glove section. Show in, or as in, a picture. Be or become visible or noticeable. His good upbringing really shows. Something intended to communicate a particular impression. A show of impatience. Give an exhibition of to an interested audience. She shows her dogs frequently. Give expression to. She showed her disappointment. Establish the validity of something, as by an example, explanation or experiment. The mathematician showed the validity of the conjecture. A social event involving a public performance or entertainment. They wanted to see some of the shows on Broadway. Finish third or better in a horse or dog race. He bet $2 on number 6 to show. Give evidence of, as of records. The diary shows his distress that evening. Make visible or noticeable. She showed her talent for cooking. The act of publicly exhibiting or entertaining. A remarkable show of skill. Formally making a person known to another or to the public. A show or display. The act of presenting something to sight or view. The presentation of new data. A visual representation of something. Obstetrics. Position of the fetus in the uterus relative to the birth canal. Cesarean sections are sometimes the result of abnormal presentations. The activity of formally presenting something, as a prize or reward. She gave the trophy but he made the presentation. The act of making something publicly available. Presenting news or other information by broadcasting or printing it. He prepared his presentation carefully in advance. The act of presenting a proposal. A device that accomplishes its purpose electronically. Give an exhibition of to an interested audience. We will demo the new software in Washington. A visual presentation showing how something works. The lecture was accompanied by dramatic demonstrations. Proof by a process of argument or a series of proposition proving an asserted conclusion. A visual presentation showing how something works. The lecture was accompanied by dramatic demonstrations. A show or display. The act of presenting something to sight or view. He gave the customer a demonstration. A public display of group feelings, usually of a political nature. There were violent demonstrations against the war. A show of military force or preparedness. He confused the enemy with feints and demonstrations. A presentation to the mind in the form of an idea or image. The state of serving as an official and authorized delegate or agent. A performance of a play. A body of legislators that serve in behalf of some constituency. A congressional vacancy occurred in the representation from California. A creation that is a visual or tangible rendering of someone or something. A factual statement made by one party in order to induce another party to enter into a contract. The sales contract contains several representations by the vendor. An activity that stands as an equivalent of something or results in an equivalent. A statement of facts and reasons made in appealing or protesting. Certain representations were made concerning police brutality. The act of representing. Standing in for someone or some group and speaking with authority in their behalf. The right of being represented by delegates who have a voice in some legislative body. Seek someone's favor. China is wooing Russia. Make amorous advances towards. Make a solicitation or entreaty for something. Request urgently or persistently. Henry IV solicited the Pope for a divorce. Approach with an offer of sexual favors. He was solicited by a prostitute. Make amorous advances towards. Incite, move, or persuade to some act of lawlessness or insubordination. He was accused of soliciting his colleagues to destroy the documents. Make a solicitation or petition for something desired. She is too shy to solicit. Talk or behave amorously, without serious intentions. A story dealing with love. An exciting and mysterious quality, as of a heroic time or adventure. A relationship between two lovers. Make amorous advances towards. Relating to languages derived from Latin. The group of languages derived from Latin. A novel dealing with idealized events remote from everyday life. Have a love affair with. Tell romantic or exaggerated lies. This author romanced his trip to an exotic country. Australian woman tennis player who won many major championships, born in 1947. Seek someone's favor. A room in which a law court sits. Television cameras were admitted in the courtroom. An area wholly or partly surrounded by walls or buildings. The house was built around an inner court. A tribunal that is presided over by a magistrate or by one or more judges who administer justice according to the laws. The sovereign and his advisors who are the governing power of a state. Respectful deference. Pay court to the emperor. A hotel for motorists, provides direct access from rooms to parking area. Make amorous advances towards. John is courting Mary. The family and retinue of a sovereign or prince. An assembly, including one or more judges, to conduct judicial business. A specially marked horizontal area within which a game is played. Players had to reserve a court in advance. Engage in social activities leading to marriage. We were courting for over 10 years. The residence of a sovereign or nobleman. The king will visit the duke's court. The last book of the New Testament contains visionary descriptions of heaven and of conflicts between good and evil and of the end of the world, attributed to St. John the Apostle. The speech act of making something evident. Communication of knowledge to man by a divine or supernatural agency. An enlightening or astonishing disclosure. Disclosing unintentionally something concealed. The speech act of making something evident. Showing or making known. A revealing glance. The speech act of making something evident. The activity of communicating, the activity of conveying information. They could not act without official communication from Moscow. A connection allowing access between persons or places. How many lines of communication can there be among four people? Something that is communicated by or to or between people or groups. Display proudly. Act ostentatiously or pretentiously. The act of displaying something ostentatiously. His behavior was an outrageous flaunt. Alternative terms for gallows. Exposed to ridicule or public scorn. Hang on an execution instrument. Be the physical support of, carry the weight of. Resist or confront with resistance. Cause to be slowed down or delayed. Rob at gunpoint or by means of some other threat. Continue to live and avoid dying. Resist or withstand wear, criticism, etc. Her shoes won't hold up. Hold up something as an example. Hold up one's achievements for admiration. A person who poses for a photographer or painter or sculptor. The president didn't have time to be a model, so the artist worked from photos. Construct a model of. Model an airplane. A representative form or pattern. A hypothetical description of a complex entity or process. The computer program was based on a model of the circulatory and respiratory systems. Worthy of imitation. Model citizens. Representation of something, sometimes on a smaller scale. A woman who wears clothes to display fashions. Something to be imitated. A model of clarity. Someone worthy of imitation. Every child needs a role model. The act of representing something, usually on a smaller scale. Create a representation or model of. Form in clay, wax, etc. Model a head with clay. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. Plan or create according to a model or models. A type of product. His car was an old model. Display, clothes, as a mannequin. Model the latest fashion. United States religious leader, born in Korea, who founded the Unification Church in 1954, was found guilty of conspiracy to evade taxes, born in 1920. The light of the moon. Moonlight is the smuggler's enemy. Be idle in a listless or dreamy way. The period between successive new moons, 29.531 days. Have dreamlike musings or fantasies while awake. Any natural satellite of a planet. Jupiter has 16 moons. Any object resembling a moon. He made a moon lamp that he used as a night light. Expose one's buttocks to. Moon the audience. The natural satellite of the Earth. Men first stepped on the moon in 1969. Of textures, full of small openings or gaps. An open texture. Not defended or capable of being defended. An open city. Possibly accepting or permitting. Open to interpretation. With no protection or shield. Open to the weather. Not sealed or having been unsealed. The letter was already open. Openly straightforward and direct without reserve or secretiveness. An open and trusting nature. Affording free passage or view. Open waters. Start to operate or function or cause to start operating or functioning. Open a business. A clear or unobstructed space or expanse of land or water. Finally broke out of the forest into the open. Ready or willing to receive favorably. Used of mouth or eyes. Keep your eyes open. Spread out or open from a closed or folded state. Open the map. Become available. An opportunity opened up. Afford access to. The door opens to the patio. Open and observable, not secret or hidden. Open ballots. Where the air is unconfined. The concert was held in the open air. Affording unobstructed entrance and exit, not shut or closed. An open door. Become open. The door opened. Information that has become public. All the reports were out in the open. Make available. This opens up new possibilities. Cause to open or to become open. Mary opened the car door. Not brought to a conclusion, subject to further thought. An open question. Accessible to all. Open season. Affording free passage or access. Open drains. A tournament in which both professionals and amateurs may play. Begin or set in action, of meetings, speeches, recitals, etc. He opened the meeting with a long speech. Display the contents of a file or start an application as on a computer. Having no protecting cover or enclosure. An open boat. Make the opening move. Kasparov opened with a standard opening. Not having been filled. The job is still open. Not requiring union membership. An open shop employs non-union workers. Open to or in view of all. An open protest. Ready for business. The stores are open. Set theory, of an interval that contains neither of its endpoints. Without undue constriction as from e.g. tenseness or inhibition. The clarity and resonance of an open tone. Have an opening or passage or outlet. The bedrooms open into the hall. Display proudly. Act ostentatiously or pretentiously. Make, offspring, by reproduction. Bring into existence. Bring out for display. Bring forth or yield. Introduce. This poses an interesting question. Be a mystery or bewildering to. A deliberate pretense or exaggerated display. Put into a certain place or abstract location. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. We don't know the woman who posed for Leonardo so often. Behave affectedly or unnaturally in order to impress others. Pretend to be someone you are not, sometimes with fraudulent intentions. She posed as the Tsar's daughter. Affected manners intended to impress others. A posture assumed by models for photographic or artistic purposes. Characteristic way of bearing one's body. Stood with good posture. Capability in terms of personnel and materiel that affect the capacity to fight a war. Politicians have neglected our military posture. A rationalized mental attitude. The arrangement of the body and its limbs. Assume a posture as for artistic purposes. Behave affectedly or unnaturally in order to impress others. She postured and made a total fool of herself. Come to have or undergo a change of physical features and attributes. Bring out for display. The proud father produced many pictures of his baby. Cause to happen, occur or exist. This procedure produces a curious effect. Fresh fruits and vegetable grown for the market. Bring onto the market or release. Produce a movie. Bring forth or yield. the tree would not produce fruit. Cultivate by growing, often involving improvements by means of agricultural techniques. The Bordeaux region produces great red wines. Create or manufacture a man-made product. We produce more cars than we can sell. Persons who administer justice. A level shelf of land interrupting a declivity, with steep slopes above and below. A strong worktable for a carpenter or mechanic. A long seat for more than one person. Exhibit on a bench. Bench the poodles at the dog show. Law, the seat for judges in a courtroom. Take out of a game, of players. The magistrate or judges sitting in court in judicial capacity to compose the court collectively. The reserve players on a team. Our team has a strong bench.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.